What a joy it is to be back at the Rochy for Rog. But this time I'm with one of my very best mates, Millie Dollar Bailey McCabe. And not only am I happy to be here with you, mate, I'm happy to be here because it seems like you might have some sort of announcement on your hands. Given that I'm looking at you and I'm sort of turned on, it looks like you have sort of a bit of makeup on the face. What's happening here?
Mate, it's been an interesting day. It's been a really, really busy day, but I've helped out a family friend of mine who has left high school. She's 17 and she's gone to a makeup school in the middle of the CBD, and they needed a bloke to come and...
A male bloke?
A male bloke.
As opposed to a female bloke. Yes.
Well,
Thanks for the clarification.
Needed a man. I don't know how you specify what a man is anymore, but... Needed a man to come and do a full face of makeup, and so there might be some residue.
There is some residue, but it's a good look on you, mate. Maybe you roll with... Usually that sort of stuff is left to my people, the Filipinos and the Southeast Asians, usually our domain.
Good at it too, very well.
Really good at it, but I'm glad that you've jumped on board, mate. It's bloody good to see. Now, you are a bit of an everything man to me. Not only are you a teammate in the Div 12 Ressies, but you're now the host of the Ball Magnets pod, Monday Magnets, with McDonald, Tails, all the rest of it. Right. You're absolutely flying. But it didn't start that way. First started that way when you were just editing videos for free for KDOS years and years ago. Crazy to see where you are now. What's the journey been like to find yourself where you are now?
It's a great question.
How do you reflect?
How long do we have? No, I was doing free content for DOS for 2 years, I reckon. And I remember, because there's a lot of canon moments that you and I have had. One of those is, and I'm sure you had multiple with DOS prior, but we went down and filmed with Tommy Mitchell, and that's probably a year after I started working with DOS. And we filmed a video with him, and he taught us some skills. You were so impressive that day.
Oh, thank you.
Because they did 8 laps, Tommy and his brother, and who's obviously Brownlow Medalist.
AFL pre-season training, seeing if we could keep up.
And it was incredible. Dossie was done after 1 lap.
No surprise. I'm surprised he lasted the one.
Yeah, and you did 7.5 out of the 8.
Yeah.
It was inspirational.
And that was so hard to give up. I didn't give up, the body gave up. But knowing I'd went the 7.5 running at their pace, and I was like, if I just last this, I've got a feather in my cap forever, and I just couldn't keep up with the great man.
You got a feather in the cap from me anyway, mate. 7.5's outrageous. At the pace they were going to, like they set a pace. But that was one of the canon events, and then we went and had beer and pizza with him the following week, and I got the job with him and Ball Magnets maybe 3 or 4 months after, and quit uni as soon as that happened. I did 6 months of uni, and as soon as I got the
How good's quitting uni?
Mate, so
I've done it twice.
Have you?
Yeah, get a shitload of hex debt for no reward. It's the best thing ever. Yeah, I did media twice at uni. Once fresh out of high school. The second time was like quarter life crisis during COVID. I was like, fuck it, I'll go to uni. And both times, 6 months, a year in, I went, this is the worst thing of all time, and I quit.
What did you do?
Media, Bachelor of Media.
You didn't do radio before?
I did a radio training course, but it was mainly Bachelor of Media. But you are a prime example of like this hustle culture. You know, I think hustling's massive now. People think that you need to work day and night to get to where you want to get to. How did that sort of hustle to hit up Caden McDonald? You're from Ballarat. What would you have been at the time, 18?
All right, 7. I reckon when I first hit up DOS, I was 17.
17, and you hit him up and you go, hey, mate, I want to edit your videos for free, which started this sort of tumbling effect, this snowball effect to now where you're sort of a mainstay in the footy media. Where did that hustle culture come from?
It's funny, I think I've potentially lost a bit of it now that I've acclimatised to the industry, but I think it was a combination of not wanting to work for the man. I didn't want to be in... I wanted to work for myself as much as I could, and that's turned out to be a lot harder than what it first seemed, but I've figured it out to a degree. But yeah, it's... cold emails. I remember a great story is I messaged Howie from the Howie games, who, what's his fucking first name?
Mark Howard.
Mark Howard, commentates the cricket and AFL. DM'd him one day back in when I was first editing for free for DOS in that first 6 months, and I didn't get any gig from him, but he replied with a voicemail, and 3 years later I'm working at the Big Bash, and I had a conversation with him about it, and So I didn't get a gig from that, but it's consistently putting yourself in the position to meet people and finding what you can possibly give them or provide to them, what service you can provide to them, what can make their life a little bit easier. And if you can offer that for free, and then from there, if you do a really good job, and that's what you do, you offer it for free, and then you over-deliver, then you're not only going to get raving reviews, but they're going to start telling other people.
I think that one criticism of hustle culture that you see is you don't want to be taken advantage of. Like, there are people that are hustling out there, grinding, and potentially they're doing a lot of work and not getting a lot in return, and maybe getting used to a degree. Was it ever a thought in your head where you're like, oh, fuck, I'm doing work for people, not getting paid much? Was it ever a battle in your head where, where's the line where I go, enough's enough, I need to sort of start making some coin doing what I'm doing?
Still is.
Yeah.
I think I and probably many other people damage it worse for themselves, because I, especially in those first 2 years, occasionally now, because I work with people like the Shepmates who are great friends of mine, and I don't want to charge them at times, specifically overs, which you can do in this industry, is charge overs for video production or whatever it might be. But it's about valuing yourself and your work, but also with ball magnets, for example, I'm not getting paid to host the Monday Magnets now, because that's such a great thing for me to be able to do, is have my face on camera. It's never something I thought I would do, but because I got that opportunity, I've said, Tommy, don't worry about paying me for this. Let's put that money towards finding sponos or giving it to Doss and Will, because there's different things to do, but you can definitely get taken advantage of. But from mine, it's easy to see through the cracks there. But also, it's about valuing yourself, because you can do it to yourself. You can devalue yourself in certain situations when you're trying to make your way.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. There are times where an opportunity comes up and it feels like it's too good of an opportunity to say no to. But at the same time, you go, shit, have I put enough runs on the board now to get compensated properly for what I'm about to do? So it is a tough one.
Tricky one for sure. Have you had any of those with any of your gigs? Anywhere you like, shit, I might be getting paid unders or overs? Yeah.
I mean, there are times where gigs have popped up for sure. I mean, there will be ones where you get hit up by a brand, or like, let's say a men's clothes brand will send you out, I won't say the name, but they send you out a box of clothes out of nowhere, and you pop it on and you do this unreal video where you're pumping narb, like all the content, and you go, fuck, I think other people are actually getting paid decent coin to do this, to really pump it up. But at the same time, I was like, shit, I wouldn't mind a new hoodie and a new t-shirt, so maybe I'm happy to just do it for that. But that's the industry we're in, that's what the grind is, and you just put your faith in the fact that when you are properly popping off, which you are now, when you're properly popping off, then eventually it'll all come back to you.
You got to trust the process, and it's a grind, mate. What are you, 26,
27?
And until you were 25, that's when you got your Brownlow gig, and then when you were 26, you got the grand final parade.
This is what Kados always says, is this industry that we find ourselves in is just a matter of hanging in there.
Yeah.
Like, so many of the people that you see on the TV or the radio, they weren't 23 when they got that gig. Like, there isn't many. Usually they are a bit older when they really pop off. So it is a matter of hanging in there, and you're doing a bloody good job of it. Like, you are kicking many goals. You mentioned earlier that now that you are on Ball Magnets, so you're on Monday Magnets, you're sort of the face of one of the podcasts, when for so many years you were just behind the camera doing it for donuts. When did the ambition come to use your personality that you have, which is a great personality? It's a bubbly, outgoing personality. When did you think, I'll utilise this and get myself in front of the camera?
Never. It was a business decision, complete business decision. I'm the only employee for Ball Magnets, and it's not even an employee because I work for myself. Technically, they're a client of mine.
Right.
Which is cool to say.
That's cool.
Paddy Cripps is my client.
Yeah.
But it was a business decision. For 2.5 years, Tommy had been running the Ball Magnets pod, and as a company putting out occasionally one pod every 2 weeks, that's just not enough content to be able to put out consistently enough to grow a page, especially in this day and age. So if we're lucky, we're getting 20 pods a year because he plays, and that's tough in season. Gets to finals, he's not going to think about Ball Magnets at all. So
of course,
to get out. And the other part of it is he can't speak. Tommy, Cripper, Lockie, these guys can't speak about, to a degree, the season as it's happening. Like, they're not going to talk about other teams. If the Dons or the Saints are going shit, they can't say.
It's not if. It's consistent throughout the history of time.
If Carlton lose to Richmond, is Tommy going to be like, Cripper, you are fucking shit?
Yeah.
Like, no, he's not. So we needed to find a secondary thing where we could not only talk about different AFL discussions that could branch us out into, just when you're talking about certain things that are hot and topical, they can blow up and go bananas. So that was the consensus that we needed to show that we could 100%. We know we're going to get that out every week, and that's how Monday Magnets was birthed. The first 4 weeks, Doss was the host.
Yeah.
And what I found was Doss isn't being utilised to his full potential because he is asking us the questions rather than answering the questions. And I found it quite hard to be funny on the spot like that when he's asking me questions. So I said, he said, Baz, do you want to host so I can utilise my skill set more answering things? And I think we found a really great medium. But back to your original question, I never have really thought about putting my face on camera other than now it's like, shit, I could potentially build a brand.
Well, it must have been hard for you. I know that when I was at radio school, they always said if you want to be the on-air talent, it's probably not the best idea to go into producing. Because if you're producing and you're coming up with these great ideas and you have other talent executing it, you will feel jealous and you'll be like, fuck, it should have been me in that spot using that bit and I maybe could have done it better. Were you ever in a position where you're behind the camera and Kados and I are recording Back Pocket Plugger and you're there thinking, fuck, I'm behind the camera and I'm enjoying it, but how much better would it be if I was the one spinning yarns?
No, because you're so good.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're so good.
Oh, thanks, bro.
And Dossie's so good as well. And I don't think I brought that many things to the table in terms of ideas for you guys. I more so just shot the thing and helped out and stood behind the scenes, which was so valuable to you and potentially Doss at the time because they didn't have that access. But never have I maybe I'm wrong and I have felt a sliver of jealousy at one stage, but if so, I can't remember. Definitely not with you guys, but I was, especially 18, 19, when it was fresh to me, I was just like so excited to be there.
Mate, so you're 18, I presume, I could be wrong, have no actual editing experience. Like you haven't done a professional course to learn how to edit. You haven't really done anything. You're just putting yourself out there. I think it takes a tremendous amount of self-confidence and self-belief to, while not being properly professionally equipped with the skills required to edit something like a Ball Magnets, you've come in and you've sort of, I don't know if faked it till you make it is it the right expression?
100%.
What's the pressure of that coming with? Because you're walking up to a role that you have no professional experience and you're faking it and you bloody make it.
Yeah.
What's that pressure like? Do you feel that? Do you feel like an imposter?
I felt it 12 months after it started. I think the first 6 months I was given a grace period. Geez, I look back at when I got Ball Magnets, for example, when it got serious, really. Because you're working with these guys, you're working, at this, when I'm 18, I'm thinking, fuck me, Paddy Cripps.
Should specify quickly for those that may not be aware, Ball Magnets is Cripper, Tom Mitchell, Lockie Neal, 3 Brownlow medalists, all coming together to make content, teach you how to play footy, but mainly just provide great content on the great game of Australian rules football. And you are the sort of head honcho of making it all happen.
It's weird to put it in that perspective, but it's there's no other way to put it. When you're 19 and you get 18, 19, you get that gig, I'm just like, what am I doing? 100%. But you get... when you do one thing good, you get a run on. And when you, it's funny you say do one thing good, do something good, but it's hard to explain what it feels like because I don't think it was your natural sense of pressure rather than holy fucking shit, I'm here with Paddy Cripps and Tom Mitchell in their room.
Because some people, that'd make so many people crumble. It's like you're with these, not that they act like big names. If anything, they're the opposite. There's they're just elite blokes.
Yeah.
But you're in the room with these people that are just massive names known all around the country, and they've come together. Like, they're dedicating time to putting on a show, and it's your job to make the show happen. And you're there without actually really for a fact knowing what you're doing. You're there hoping you have an idea of what might be going on. That would make so many people crumble or not even rock up, but you're there, you're doing it, and you keep on excelling. So what is it about you that makes that happen?
I'm a good speaker. That's for sure. I can speak in a meeting.
Which is important.
Which is so important.
A silent meeting would render the meeting sort of useless.
Yes. I think I can. It sort of sounds shit, and I stuffed up so much. You know this to a great degree. I've made so many mistakes.
What are some big mistakes? Like, because I know that when I was doing a Bachelor of Media at uni, you know, just to lead you in, I managed to land an interview. Well, the partner of mine that I was working with managed to land an interview with Eddie Maguire. My sole job for the interview with Eddie Maguire, and that was the biggest name anyone in my class got. It was massive news.
That is huge, yeah.
Massive for these 18-year-old little virgin guys to get an interview with Eddie Maguire. And I forgot to focus the camera, so it was just completely blurry. You couldn't even make out it was Eddie, right? So that was a massive blunder. What sort of errors are we talking about in the world of Millie Dollar Bailey?
Well, as you know, I'm historically late. In many senses of the word.
You are terribly late. And today, you were late to this.
Today I was 10 minutes late as well. So, but I've gotten on top of that to a degree, to a great degree this year. That's come with being a lot healthier in at all aspects of my life, mainly physical. But we were releasing the 6th or 7th episode of the Ball Magnets podcast. It was still while Tommy was at Hawthorn. And they've got their little media room, and we filmed 2 or 3 different pods in there. But we were filming a pod with CJ and James Sicily back in 2021.
2 great Hawthorn footballers.
Great Hawthorn footballers. And Tommy said to me, Tommy's not the greatest. And it's hard as an AFL footballer, especially a great one, to be as super time efficient when he's got a business. He's got me to worry about and tell things to. So, but there's times where he'll drop something on my table at 6 p.m. at night and say, hey, mate, can you be here at 7 a.m. tomorrow?
Right.
And that's tough, but he's done that. He's given me probably 12 hours notice to get to Hawthorn Footy Club at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
To record this pod with CJ and James Sicily. I wake up, it's 8:15.
What was that feeling like?
The worst feeling in the world.
Oh, that sucks.
Heart dropped. Like, you wake up.
What happened? The alarm didn't go off?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
You snoozed it?
I couldn't tell you.
You can't snooze the alarm, Bailey. You just got to get the fuck up.
I know, mate, and I do now. But that was a mare, and we postponed that for about 10:30 that day. So it wasn't the end of the world. But when you got 2-3 high profile athletes waiting for a producer.
That slept in. Oh,
that hasn't rocked up.
Oh, I would hate it. I would hate it so much.
They haven't. CJ and James Sicily, no idea who I am.
Yeah.
Just fucking get there, Baz, and I wasn't there. So,
did you run an excuse, or did you just say, "Mate, I've slept in"?
Yeah, I just said, "Mate, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And it wasn't okay, but Tommy gave me a.
Did he make you earn it?
Gave me a big clip.
Yeah. That's the only way you learn.
And from that day, I've never been late to a Ball Magnet shoot ever.
So what you're saying is we just need someone to give you one of the all-time clips and you'll never be late to a game of Div 12 races again.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be the right idea.
No one's going to give me a clip at Div 12 though, realistically.
Nah. Well, where do you see Ball Magnets going, and also yourself? You know, do you think Ball Magnets is your baby until it's the biggest sports brand in Australia? Do you see yourself jumping all around and being now an editor for the AFL, or do you want to keep running the on-screen personality type go? Have you got a vision, or are you just so focused in the present?
I'd love your opinion. I'd love to get your takes, because I'm really uncertain at the moment of where I want to go, and potentially that's because I've started to do new things. I had a job interview with the AFL 2.5 years ago, and got the details, and I didn't end up doing it. It wasn't my thing. And I don't think I would want to work for the AFL or for an AFL club. that's always been my consensus on that. There's not actually a lot of money in that unless you're in one of the really senior positions, which is really unfortunate. But the AFL, in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking the amount of employees that they have, there's actually not that much money in the AFL.
Yeah.
There's actually not. It's quite thin margins a lot of the time. So that is probably not where I'd see myself. I'm really lucky at Ball Magnets because we've just signed a corporate partnership with Gatorade, and that's through the AFL. That's
For those not aware, Gatorade do the sports energy drinks.
It's true. They have electrolytes in there.
You know, we can't assume they know everything.
No, it's true. I appreciate your knowledge.
Many flavours.
Great flavours.
Yep.
And
what's your favourite flavour of Gatorade?
I like a blue or a peach.
Blue Bolt.
Blue Bolt.
Peach.
I don't know. It's the no sugar ones.
Ah.
I've been on the no sugars.
I can tell you've been on the no sugar ones because you used to be fat when I first met
Could
you.
you tell 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Could you tell 3 years ago?
You've been on the peach Gatorades for a while.
6 months.
Yeah.
So we recently signed that. So I'm working with this big team of the AFL digital and partnerships team, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm not part of the AFL job branch at all. So it's cool. I get to do that while not doing that at all. I don't know, Rog. Where do you see me? Where would you see me going in 3 years? I don't know if Ball Magnet, Tommy's going to retire in a year or two, and that makes Ball Magnets so much more accessible and better because he's available every day to do stuff. But
Well, I see a world where Ball Magnets becomes, and I know that you're not in the exact same field, but I can see Ball Magnets becoming in the same sphere. If it's not, it's definitely in the same sphere, but on the same rung of the ladder as like Producy, which is like Dill Buckley sort of operation with Dylan Friends. I can see like, nothing will ever catch Dan Does Footy and what they're doing. No. But if it becomes an established, it already is established, but you know what I mean? It reaches those dizzying heights and you're the one behind the wheel. What a feather in the cap that'd be. I think that would be a tremendous thing to have on your resume.
In saying that though, you're a guy that I find is one of those jack of all trades, but you it seems like you're not comfortable doing the same thing for too long.
Nah.
And I'm a bit similar in the fact, and I've done Ball Magnets for 3 years now.
Do you think you'll stay in sports, or is there a world where you're recording and editing, I don't know, anything else, music videos, TV, I don't know.
What is the progression? I don't know.
But that's the thing about the 20s, isn't it? Like this is like what the whole Rog podcast was born out of at the start, is the early and mid 20s, you're just following your passion, you're following your gut, you figure out what you like doing and what you want to do more of. And then it comes to a crunch time where you go, fuck, like, am I making enough money to sustain a house and a family or whatever it might be down the track? And you start really thinking about the viable pathways. And you come to a crossroads where you go passion, career, future, where's it all lie? And you're not meant to know the answers. You just have to make the decisions on the fly and hope that it lands you in the right spot.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And I envy a lot of what you've done because you have been able to do a lot of incredible work in the AFL media space, but you've also done some amazing travel, which I haven't. I did a Ireland trip to play against Ireland, a bunch of their counties' Gaelic football sides back when I was 17. But
what was that like?
Unbelievable.
Were you 17 at the time?
Yeah, I was 17. And
could you get pissed in the Irish pubs? Not that I would ever encourage underage drinking.
No, but I snuck out one night.
Nice.
That's for sure.
Very good.
But barring that, I haven't done much travel, mate, and that's something I want to do. But like, I wish I was taking.
Do you stew on it? Do you? Yeah.
All day. There's like this is going to be fucking hilarious, but I really want to do like a 4-year deployment in the army.
Really?
Like, there's so many things.
The army?
Yeah.
Well, I think you've made that decision at a good time because it feels like World War III is literally about to kick off.
I know, but it's more of a thing of like...
You'd probably be the only one that saw Iran launch missiles into Israel and gone, I wouldn't mind a piece of that action.
I know, but like it's an experience thing that by the time you're 40, you can't, that for example gets blocked off.
Yeah.
And that's something only so many people do. You have one life to do what you want to do. If that's 4 years, if you can take 4 years out to go and, I don't know, but there's so many things. I want to work in the NBA. That's my favorite. That's my favorite sport.
I think that you don't have the height or the ability.
I don't want to play in the NBA.
Oh, right.
I want to work in the NBA.
Okay, gotcha.
But that'd be great.
Yeah, if you could play in the NBA, mate, like that'd be. I'm here to support my mates as much as I can. If you told me you're quitting ball magnets to start trying to shoot threes like Steph Curry, I'd be raising an eyebrow.
No, some things are better left undone. And my basketball career's cut off.
Like your zipper.
Is that down?
No, I'm joking.
Shit. Well, I wonder what I was doing before. You want to see what I was doing before
absolutely. This? Well, we do play together in the Div 12 Ressies to go, sort of go off the path a little bit from existential crisis of where the bloody hell are we all going in this big hot mess of content that we find ourselves in.
Great conversation.
Living in the present. Like, I think that we'll look back on our time in the Div 12 Ressies as just about the funnest part of our life.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, when do you get to make a team full of 10 of your best mates? When do you get to do that? And maybe not 10 of your best mates, but you got 3 or 4 of your best mates.
Yeah. And it's so fun being in the Div 12 Ressies, like the shittest competition ever, because...
You rack it up?
Well, I used to play a Banyul, Division 1 or 2 reserves.
Yeah.
I'd run around and I was just a bottom 6 player, back pocket, hopefully get a fist in and get some respect because maybe I'll put my head over it. Go to Div 12 Ressies and I'm cripper.
You're getting votes.
I'm in the midfield. I'm getting 30 every week. I'm like, yeah, good this. And I'm doing it with my best mates. And the best part is, if we are lucky enough to make a grand final, Baz, there will be hundreds, if not thousands of people there. It'll feel like a Division 1 local footy grand final. What opportunity will shit footballers like you and I ever get to play in front of a massive crowd in a game that matters with our best mates and we're superstars, but we're shit?
We suck.
Do you
feel like you've gotten better? Do you like, because I know the competition's worse, but I feel like myself, but also you have become a better footballer.
Well, confidence is such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like I have thought that. I thought now that I have the confidence of, because when I'm playing at Banyul and I'm only getting 7, 8 to 13 touches a game, right, in a back pocket, you don't actually have much opportunity to grow yourself as a footballer. Improve. But you go down, it's like when the AFL players playing shit in the seniors gets dropped down to the 2s and they get 35 touches, they get confidence, they come back up and they stay in the side. So I have thought, now that I'm running around the midfield, getting 30, I feel like I'm Paddy Cripps. If I was to go back to the Banyul 2s, I'll never be a seniors footballer, but if I go back to the Banyul 2s in Division 1, is there a chance I'm a contributor and not shitful?
On a wing?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
I'd like to see it. Let's test the waters. But, mate, even your rig, it was unfortunate when I looked over the Once Upon a Time YouTube channel because all the dribble episodes are gone, and that's one of my favourite all time.
Well, you know why I had to get rid of that?
Why? Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Can you disclose?
I can't disclose, but what I can say is an opportunity has presented itself and the opportunity has been taken of a bigger magnitude than you could ever possibly expect. But I've had to delete a bunch of old content because it didn't quite fit certain criteria. So, yeah.
Drivel, one of Roger's X-Pods, one of my favourites of all time. But I rolled across something I also edited. This is back in the day. I edited the Back Pocket Plugger podcast.
Yes.
Which is now 4.5 years old. Which is fucking crazy.
It's funny how...
half a decade.
You know, when Kados first said, hey, mate, I haven't got the time to edit the Back Pocket Plugger podcast, but I've got this kid from Ballarat, Bailey, who's happy to edit it. I've offered to pay, but he's going to do it for nothing, or whatever the story was. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet. And Baz from Ballarat became a character, but not one I ever thought I'd meet. I thought it was just his kid that's just editing some videos. Yeah. And lo and behold, you've become one of my best mates.
It's funny, we'll move off this very quickly because we've just been talking about that whole spiel, but you were living in Melbourne. Dossie's Torquay, I'm Ballarat. I've moved up, and for 18 months, we saw a bit of each other, but we weren't hanging out regularly. But then Doss moves up. I move in with Vinny. You meet Vinny and Doss, and everyone gets around Vinny. Will Taylor moves up. Yeah. And another year later, we meet Will. The Marmalades move from Adelaide. So you're literally Jared Davis is from Warragul.
Yeah.
So many people from outside Melbourne have now come.
It's like, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
Doss and I, this is not a story that I can get into because it's so long, but I went on the footy show as a little preview best and teen, and he added me on Facebook after the footy show.
Was that no way?
We never knew of each other, and we never spoke for 10 years yeah he was just some random that I accepted on Facebook because back then friendships on Facebook was currency. Yes. The more you have, the better. So I accepted him. Never heard of him for 10 years. I got a gig at a radio station, but it was a shit radio station, and they send out a newsletter to 1,000 people, and I went through the names to see if there's anyone I could do a radio show with, and I saw Cade McDonald. How do I know the name Cade McDonald? Hit him up, and I said, how have we been friends on Facebook for 10 years, zero mutual friends? He goes, I added you after the footy show. We did one episode of a show together, and then we both worked together at Kiss FM, and it exploded. So it's like, what are the odds all of us Div 12 Ressies have come together? It's so weird how friendship groups, your friendship group, molds and changes, and I'm still so close with all of my friends that I've met along the way. But it's funny that our love of footy and being shit at footy and coming together in the Div 12 Ressies
nuts, man.
Brought us together.
It's nuts, man. But you and your football, back to your football.
Well, I'm more curious about your football. This is about this Millie Dollar Bailey episode we're talking about.
Sorry, I'm getting back into my hosting.
Yeah, but you have your body has changed. You know, you've dropped a lot of kgs.
Yeah.
You used to just be like sort of
I was fat as fuck, Rog.
Yeah, we can say that.
Oh no, you can. I'd love you to say it because I was big.
Yeah, not that there's an issue with being big, but now you're sexy as, man.
I've gotten a little bit.
You're sexy as.
Gotten a little bit warmer.
Yeah. You know what one of my favourite stories is?
Go on.
And I can't say it properly, but I'll say it as best as I can. One of my favourite stories is this was in a period where we were definitely friends. You weren't just the young kid from Ballarat. We're definitely friends at this point. But Doss and I got a gig hosting the Carlton Draft.
Oh no!
And we're driving out. We go to like the middle, like we drive like 8 hours or something. And you're our cameraman. Horsham we go to, and
technically nil.
And after we film what we need to film for the Carlton Draft, we go to the Horsham pub.
The Royal.
We're there, and Doss and I, like, you know, we're in our mid-20s. We sort of know who we are. And I feel like you might be a young kid trying to impress the older guys, and you want to really test your luck with the ladies of Horsham. And we're all staying in this tiny Airbnb, like this tiny flat. It's a granny flat. Yeah. And somehow, some way, right as Doss and I are saying, all right, let's go, you have no quit in you, and you go, no, I'm proving to these boys that I'm capable. You walk up to, you know, a woman a bit older than yourself, and we managed to bring her back. You managed to bring her back.
I did.
Caden and I just go on our merry way to bed. I try and close my eyes and go to sleep. And I'm kept up by some rather rambunctious behaviour. Some behaviour that you might only be lucky enough to be on the receiving end of if it's your birthday, but it's really rambunctious.
You did not get a wink.
Did not get a wink of sleep. Anyway, that's funny enough as it is. You know, here is little Bailey managing to pull off one of the all-time, you know, things you've ever seen in Horsham, the miracle of Horsham. Anyway, we fast forward to the next year, and we're sort of driving back in that direction, and Caden rings you. Now, Caden is the least locker room chat guy ever. Like, he will never say anything that's trashy, that's disrespectful. He would never say, he avoids that at all costs, which we love about him. But for whatever reason, on this occasion, we're ringing each other, and I think you're about to pass through Horsham or whatever, and he says to you, hey, mate, have they put up a statue of you yet for this one particular act that you may have engaged in? I can't describe which one it is, but it was a very rambunctious act. And you go, oh, Doss, you're just on the loudspeaker with Mum. And Doss goes, I am so sorry, and hangs up the phone. It was one of the fun, and I was in the passenger seat, hysterically laughing.
It was one of the funniest things ever. I'm lucky my mum's a great sport.
Yeah.
She thought it was fucking hilarious.
Passing through Horsham, eh? Have they put up a statue of when you did this? And it was like, oh my God. Sorry, mate, you've got Mum on the phone. So, well, that's what happens when you get yourself fit and firing on all cylinders,
mate. I was large. I was XL at the time.
Yeah.
But I have lost 30 kilos.
You fucking beauty. How good is that?
It's unbelievable.
Is that one of the things you are proudest of, and how have you actually gone about doing it?
Yeah, mate. I think and it's genuinely part of this. I've always, like, when I was 8, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I can't because I'm Australian. But and I probably don't have the rig for it. But
yeah, apparently they're not massive on the whole immigration thing at the moment. The Americans, like, if you're not from there, they're really not a fan of you sort of getting involved with the American stuff.
Don't even bring your phone to the border because they will search it apparently at the moment. But
they wouldn't want to search my phone. No, mate. They'll see some
statue in Horsham.
Oh, talk about rambunctious, some very, very unruly behaviour.
Well, I love that type of behaviour. No, I lost 30 kilos, and I think where I was going with that SEAL thing is it's what's the word? It's
rambunctious.
Yeah, that's the word.
I think I've said it 6 times. I've never said the word in my life before.
You got to... You have to be very disciplined, and ever since
quite like literally the opposite of rambunctious. Like the antonym of rambunctious would be disciplined. Yeah, it's not the job for me though, mate. Count me out.
No, discipline, Rogie. I've actually, to a degree, and a lot of things in this podcast have been to a degree. Yeah. I've fallen in love with discipline and self-discipline. And that's like genuinely up until... I lost 8 kilos throughout last year's footy season just from playing and training. And then I went and lost another 22 in the from end of season to start of
22
season.
Is massive.
It's huge. But I never thought I'd do it, ever. Yeah. And I was always a bit bigger from... Year 7
Were you
onwards.
insecure about it? Like, was weight something that weighed on you?
Like, of course it does, because it's there. Like, it's a visible...
Yeah, well, weight does literally weigh on you. Hence why they call it that. But it's more mentally, was it a weight?
Yeah. No, it was I'd say, it has to be.
Because you have... Not that you can't be sexy while having a few kilos on. That's obviously... That's absolutely a thing. But
I love hanging out with larger women.
Yes.
To be honest.
You and me both. But there's such a you have like a sexy Brad Pitt-esque type energy.
Do I?
Yeah. Maybe not Brad Pitt, but you know what I mean? Like that type of mold of man, you know what I mean? Like it takes a certain amount of confidence to do what you're doing.
Do you reckon I had it 4 years ago?
Well, yeah, I think you had a certain swagger to be able to sort of push ahead in the industry you are despite having no experience whatsoever. And I could imagine, and I know this me personally because I was in high school and I was such a like outgoing sort of perhaps try hard popular type character, but the reality was my looks did not match the personality, and I really wish that my looks did match the personality that I was trying to portray.
You were
insecure about it. Is that something that ever weighed on you?
I'm sure subconsciously there was effects of my being overweight. I'm 100% sure there was, but I never felt it in the moment. I was always very comfortable. Now that I've lost the weight, I think I've found that I was more so. And maybe that's just through like people genuinely treat you differently. Women treat you differently.
Incredible.
Funny,
because I lost a bunch of weight and women treat me exactly the same.
No, mate. You're awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're awesome.
That was maybe fake humble.
I'm very jealous of I'm very jealous of the Rod's train at times, but no, I think subconsciously there was definitely things that affected my mental, but in the moment I never ever wavered, and I don't think... Yeah, I think that was to my benefit. And I think because I copped, friendly shit and a little bit of mean shit, you are able to drown it out. And I was very headstrong from a very young age. I didn't really care about other people's opinions of me. And so, and I'm sure that's a common story for some people, but I just genuinely nothing could, you could rarely get me down.
Yeah.
So...
I love that, mate. It takes a certain amount of confidence to be able to do that. So you are fit and firing. You're getting plenty of kicks in the Div 12 Ressies. What do you think if you had to describe yourself as a player, how would you describe yourself? Because there has been a negative knock or two of you come your way. How do you respond to the people that might have a negative knock on you?
Get fucked. Like go and get fucked, mate.
What's the knock that people have of you?
That I can't get hard pill. That I can't get the hard pill. I can't get hard footy apparently. And what is hard footy? Because
it's rambunctious.
I provide in other ways.
Yeah.
And would you prefer me starting on a wing or on the bench?
On the wing, I reckon.
Thank you, brother.
Yep.
So, Dan, I'd say the same. You want me rather than not want me.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Which is great. And I think everyone wants you. There's no doubt that you should be in the 18. Everyone wants you. I just think that it is a funny narrative that we have in the Div 12 races about the hardball. And you know what I'm excited to see, Baz?
Tell me.
When it gets to finals, I was telling Dan
mate.
Allen, the everything man for every single podcast in Australia just before, that even when you rock up to Div 12 Ressies, sometimes it can feel like indoor soccer,
Absolutely.
It can feel that level of casual and like we're just here to sort of have a run around. It doesn't feel... When I was at Banyule, and it was a club that took it so seriously in a high division, even though I was in the twos, you get there, everyone's here an hour plus before the game, you warm up together, and it feels like I'm playing AFL, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Like, if we take it that seriously, This is indoor soccer. But when you get to finals... Doesn't matter what you're playing. The competitive beast comes out. You all want to win.
All bets are off.
And I think that the discrepancy between Div 12 Ressies regular season and Div 12 Ressies finals is as big as like AFL regular season and AFL finals, if not bigger. Because no one gives a fuck in the regular season. Everyone's like, I can't be bothered getting hurt. This is just some thirds competition. But when we get to finals, everyone, especially us with a big crowd there, we're going to be red hot to win.
That's it.
So you got to think, does Bailey McCabe's game hold up in finals?
Well, just watch and see. You fucking wait and see,
I know it will. I'm just putting it on you.
It is all bets are off.
Yeah.
My game style completely changed. Because when it means something,
Yeah.
I
can't wait to see who rises and who falls.
I'm going to put it on the line, mate.
Because when the heat's on, we'll find a lot out about our mates. We think we know our mates, but you don't know who your mates really are till you play finals together.
Who's going to be the biggest faller?
Who's
going to be the biggest faller of finals football?
The biggest fall. I tell you who the biggest rise is going to be.
Go on.
Someone who I think is built for finals. Sedge. I think Sedgy is going to have massive moments in finals.
He's going to kill someone.
He's going to He's going to just put everything on the line. And I think he's going to have big, courageous moments in finals.
For sure.
Who's going to crumble? Probably Doss.
Probably Doss. Yeah. Probably Doss.
Nah, I am joking. I don't know. Well, what I worry about with Doss in the finals, is because everyone's going to know he's the main attraction.
Yeah.
He's a superstar. He's a captain. So they're going to be putting so much time into it. All day. It's going to be shoulder to shoulder, annoying him. Is he going to be able to get off the chain? Is he going to be able to get the ball himself? I think he will be, but he's got such a high standard that he has the highest distance to fall. So
someone brought up to me the other day, it was actually young King Cookson. He said that he thinks Caden McDonald is more talented of a footballer than Prime Train.
Wow.
And what? And
Wow.
And I said,
Big call.
I said, shut the fuck up, Austin. But he followed up by saying, not better at football, but technically skilled and like the goals he kicks. And I said, shut the fuck up, Cookson.
I'd like to get Prime Train's opinion. I think that if you're C. McDonald, you run around and kick, 3 goals out the back in the Div 12 Ressies, or your Prime Train racking up 50 in like senior top tier competitions, it's one hell of an argument to go with C. McDonald. And sure, he can kick a goal from a boundary, but skill comes in a lot of different ways. When there's 4 blokes in a contest, it takes a lot of skill to run out the front of the contest with a footy.
Opposition comes in lots of different ways as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. We all come in a lot of different ways.
I've changed my ways.
Yeah, well, you do change your ways. But we did just play the biggest game of Div 12 Ressies ever, like number 3 or something like that.
We did.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Over in Adelaide, it was South Australia versus the All-Stars. There was a big storyline with you and Mitch Robinson.
You sparked a little bit of it on your Marmalade pod.
Yeah, I did, because you, once again, I'm not saying that I subscribe to the theory, but there is a theory that you might not be the hardest player in the team. Mitch Robinson, the hardest player of the modern era.
Do you actually think that?
That he's the hardest player of the modern era? I think that he is the player that has approached the contest with the most reckless abandon. Okay. So he would dive into contests where it was actually detrimental for him to dive into. There might be a contest that we were going to win, Carlton was going to win, but he'd dive in just to prove that he was tough. Mm-hmm. So I think that, which he is tough, but I think that he is up there with the toughest players of the modern era. You, on the other hand, Div 12 Ressie's not exactly the toughest player I've played with, and you called him out. You called him out in a vicious way, saying that you're going to run straight through him. Were you shitting yourself going into the game that you've taken a bit too far and it might result in a death warrant?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And what sparked that hypothesis was the clips he put out the week prior. He played a game of local footy and nearly killed a kid.
Yeah,
nearly killed a 19-year-old kid.
It was murder on the dance floor.
It was murder on, I don't know, in Nil. It was murder in Horsham. And
murder in Nil doesn't quite have the same ring to it as murder on the dance floor.
Have you seen Picnic at Hanging Rock?
Have I seen it?
Picnic at Nil?
No.
Okay, well, moving on. Well, yeah, mate, I was shitting myself, absolutely. When it came to the day, he was so good. Like, yes, he left at 3/4 time, but he was fucking awesome all day.
He didn't run straight. He got the wrong house, mate. He ran straight through Vinny. Vinny Brigante, the rock star.
He injured his collarbone.
Yeah, Mitch Robinson dislocated Vinny Brigante's collarbone. And to Vinny's credit, he jumped straight up like he got hit with a bloody daffodil.
Had to get up though, Vin. Had to,
and he did.
And Robbo complimented him on that bounce up. But mate, I was shitting myself until the end of the first quarter. I had one touch, and Robbo had tackled me once. And it was just a contrast the year before because I had 28 the year before. Prime's the best player on the field, him and Bernie Vince. And then I'm starting in the midfield with 5 ex-AFL players and I can't find the footy. I butchered it so much. But Robbo was great in the end.
Any particular noteworthy or favourite moment from the game?
Yeah, when you came up to me in the fourth quarter and said, Baz, can I ever go in the midfield? And then you went in there and didn't get a touch.
I think the moment that I have to come clean with is a very shameful moment of mine in the Div 12 Ressie's biggest game ever in South Australia. Is that Lenny, the coach, the 12...
No, I am so fucking for this, Rog.
You're for it?
Yes.
You're on board?
You got to go for home.
So we brought on our 11, 12-year-old coach, Lenny. He's an absolute legend, and the crowd goes wild as in the last couple of minutes, we bring Lenny on, and he's straight into the midfield. Charlie Dixon has him on his shoulders to win a hit out, and I'm thinking, how good is this? Lenny's on the field. Lenny wins the hit out. The ball goes inside forward 50. I think it was to Miles, one of the Shep mates, and I'm streaming past, Miles, here, mate. Give it to me. I fumble the footy and I pick it up and I still have time.
You slotted that thing.
Why do I have so much time? And I put my head over the yag and I arch the back. I'm running. I nearly take it bounce. Put the head over the footy and I slot it straight through the high diddle, the cat and the fiddle. This is my moment. We've got a goal on the board. I start waving the finger and I'm like, how good is this, boys? And no one is celebrating with me. And everyone's looking going, Rog, Lenny was meant to give the goal. Yeah. We're getting Lenny a goal. And I'm like, oh, shit, I've just completely stolen the little kid's moment.
No, mate, I'm so for it. And it was a great snag. It was a great snag.
Yeah.
Straight through the middle and great droppy. It was a great kick.
Thank you, man.
I have no shame.
You.
And Lenny, you got your moment, brother.
He did. He got the next clearance and the next goal.
You were always going to have your moment, so fucking share it around, Len. You know?
He is 12. So remember that.
Oh, grow up.
He will. Just give him another 6 years and he will be great. Baz, mate, been an absolute pleasure. Millie Dollar Bailey.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I haven't. Is that the boxing movie?
Yeah.
Sort of Cinderella Man
Clint
style?
Eastwood.
Yeah, Clintoff. I've been trying to find the Clint for years and I still haven't quite
found
got
it.
there. I've got one last little thing I want to do with you. Right behind me is the Ledge of Legends.
I've heard about this.
Yes, this is where if you come on the show, I want you to give a piece of yourself to the show so we can remember you, so we can have you on the wall for years to come and everyone knows that's what Bailey McCabe, Millie Dollar Bailey contributed to the Rog Pod.
Yes.
Behind me, you see one of Australia's greatest musical exports, Tricky Mac. This is a CD burner he used to burn all the thousands upon thousands of CDs, sticking it on windshields all across the state, which turned him into a rap cultural phenomenon in the country. And he gave me his burner that made that happen.
Unbelievable.
What is the piece of Millie Dollar Bailey McCabe that'll be on the Rog Pod forever?
Roger, I brought you 2 items. And both are a little bit mediocre in comparison.
We need to get a bigger ledge.
We need a bigger boat. A lot of my like well worth things of bringing them back in Ballarat because I just travel light, live light. But I've brought a couple of things. So firstly is this frame.
Here we go.
Which is 270p. It's horrible quality, which is probably why I feel so comfortable bringing it in. Of one of your favourite people's in this image, Lisa McCabe, my mum.
Oh, Lisa.
I'm in it. My dad's in it. My sister's in it. And Dan Butler's in it. And this is us water rafting in Cairns.
Wow. This is a family heirloom. This could be passed down generation to generation. Are you sure you want this to be part of the Rog pod?
Rog, this is the moment I fall out.
Wow.
I fall out.
You fall out?
Fall out of that moment.
Like of the boat, or you fell out with your family and never to speak to them again?
I fell out of the boat myself.
Wow.
But wait on.
Waiting.
I've got one more. So I did mention I went on my island tour. This is a little bit cooler than that.
Okay.
Went on my island tour, and for 3 days we went to London. 2 nights, 3 days. And
London, of course, the city in England.
In England, which is an hour flight from Ireland. And we went to Lord's Cricket Ground.
Unreal.
Located in London. And we went into the gift shop after, and I stole this.
Oh, really? The 5-finger discount?
I stole it.
I didn't know you had that in you.
Because I pocketed it.
Wow.
And this is a little cricket ball from Lord's, the home of cricket.
A stolen cricket ball. I see it, but I do not believe it. Jesus, just like we steal the Ashes every single year, we've managed to steal from the actual gift shop. That is incredible, Baz.
So, mate, take your pick, but you can put both up there.
What a collection.
It's a good collection.
What a collection we have there.
It's building there. So you got the McCabe portrait, the Toshiba Cruiser, and the Lord's home of cricket.
Yeah, if Lords come after me and, want to put me in handcuffs, go ahead, I dare you. $1 million Bailey McCabe, I fucking love you, mate. Proud of you. Love everything you're doing. And this will be one that's funny to look back on in 10 years, seeing where we are now, whatever concerns we might have about where we're at or where we're going, but we just know that we're on the right track.
Do you reckon we'll have a kid? One of us will have a kid by then?
Well, not together, but...
One of us.
Then again, you keep that makeup on and nothing's out of the equation.
Shit.
All right, love you, brother.
Thanks, Rogie.